All right, family. We black again. We black again now. It's the Truth Hour with General Sarah Seti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be happy. That's right. We're coming in. We're coming in the midnight hour. That's right. Saying that they say that the Savior gonna come like a thief in the night. God damn it. Here I am. That's right. Here I am. All right, family, ring the alarm. KingSeti.com online marketplace. Official General Sarah Seti DVD lecture. Let me get it up here now. Make sure everything is Gucci. Make sure everything is Gucci. All right. DVD lectures, classic and Jurassic. T-shirts and hoodies for the family. We got for the kings and the queens. African and Kemetic jewelry, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, finger rings, cuffs for the men. Red, black, and green. You know the team. Heru, African medallions, West Africa, East Africa. We got you. Holistic tonics and remedies. We got that organic immunity booster with the aloe vera. We got the holy seed, the black seed, living better. In the house, you feel me? And we got home decor for the family, accessories for the living room, the dining room, the kitchen. We got you. We got you. KingSeti.com. You feel me? Class is now in session. That's right. SETI University, GeneralSeti.com. Over 900 video presentations. 2 raw for YouTube. That's how we keep it. 2 raw. You see, SETI with the master teachers, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Khalid Abdul Mohammed, Walter Williams. We only commune with the best. You feel me? Freemasonry exposed when Kemet ruled the earth, Nubia, mother of ancient Egypt, from Naga to nigga, Olmec, voyages of the Nile, the black woman is God, occult science, debates, all world religions, video, radio interviews, highlights from over 50 cities, ancient civilization and mythology, black power, politics, and economics. The complete General SETI website. Join the day. Class is now in session. That's right. We keep it popping on Patreon. BPC making noise. We never come. Exclusive live stream. Too hot to handle on YouTube. Just drop the promo for the Jesuit medical mafia. The Jesuit medical mafia showing who is in control of this major move on the planet at this time, locking it down, you understand, putting all this poison out here for the people, you understand, to, put in their bodies so they can, die and shrivel and shit. You feel me? We need to talk about it. We need to talk about it, family. And so all them live streams on Patreon, too hot for YouTube. We just dropped the synagogue of Saturn, the Shabbat of Satan. You understand? Showing you who the true God of the Talmud and the Kabbalah. That's right. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, General SETI, King SETI, Sarah SETI. Rock that notification bell. Give a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends and comment. Tell me how you feel. Just be respectful because I will ban your ass. Okay? And I don't want to do it, so don't you make me. All right, today, family, we black again now. We black again. Ain't nothing but the smoke. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but the smoke. Today, to separate the sheep from the goat. Goats, occult meaning. That's right, it's that time. You see? It's that time when we got to talk about it. You understand? Coming, it won't be long. We'll be in the house of Capricorn. The goat. You understand? Saturn in Capricorn. You understand? You nigga want to read. You want to read the zodiac. You understand? But what is it saying? You see, it ain't gonna never tell you all the truth now. They don't want to tell you the truth. They want to mask that shit so you'll be in a blur about what's really going on. You see, when you start talking about that goat, you see, that's their primordial God. You see, Yeah, you know, they love that goat. You see them walking around even in Israel. They got the goat. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, and we got to talk about this. You know, let me go on and put the other one up there. Let me go and put the other one up there. I got to go on and we got to start throwing logs on the fire. Got to start throwing logs on the fire, family. Got to start throwing logs on the fire. Oh, I love it. Matthew 25, 31, 46. What does it say, family? We're going to start it off with some fire. It says, when the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on the glorious throne. Before him will be gathered all the nations. All of them. And he will separate people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will place the sheep on his right for righteousness, but the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on the right, come, come, you who are blessed by my Father. Who is the Father? You see, we got to talk in this instance. Who is the Father? The Son. See, we got to talk today now. The Son, for the Lord God is a sun and a shield. He say, okay. So then the king will say to those on his right, come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me food, and I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me in. Wait a minute. Well, you know, I don't even have to read what he said about them because they represent the other side. You see? And so you got to understand a lot of this information is parable. You see? It's parable. And you know, and you got the book is a parable. You see? The book is mysteries that have, and that have been carried down. Some, and you got to know how to go in there and you got to get that up out of there. You know, it's been hunkered down with all type of landmines now. It is many landmines inside of this shit now. You can go in there, creep and fuck around and step on the wrong one, goddamn it, and kaboom. It could be all over for your ass in an instant. You see, and so that's why you got to go in there with a mighty great teacher that's going to show you the way, lead you through. You see? And so what we understand in here is that when you talk about the sheep, you talk about the goat, these are zoo types. Just like when they talk about, and they say the Lion of Judah. You see, where the lion represents the tribe of Judah, or the Hormaki. You see, the Sphinx, where the lion is symbolic of the great house of the great king of ancient Egypt. You see, and just like they say, the Lamb of God, which is also in ancient Egypt, the Ram of God. When the Ram of God became the Lamb of God. See, you got to understand that these are zoo types that lead to a deeper meaning, that could lead to an anthropomorphic source. You see, a human source, and so it's symbolic, letting you know, but it's talking in parable. You understand? So because if you come out too hard on them, you see, then that's how why you have to speak in secret, because you very well could be talking about even the authorities. You see, you might even be talking about the authorities, and so you have to teach in parable, and let's deal with that. Let's deal with the parable. You see, let's deal with parable. Let's deal with the parables. There's the one in there where they ask him, they say, damn, why are you talking parables? Right there, they're one of them, right there. Matthew 13:10 through 11. Then the disciples came and said to him, they talking to them, to whom they call Jesus. You see, we peeling back. We know that's Serapis, but there's something under there. You don't get caught up in that. Why do you speak to them in parables? See? And he answered them, to you it has been given to know the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given. You see? So a lot of things, so you have to understand that a lot of, not just here, but in the occult across the board. When you get to talking, and in a lot of these groups, you understand, secret societies. Most elite groups are secret society. They're not gonna speak to you out in the open about what they talking about behind doors. They're not gonna do that. Who's gonna do that? Even the niggas in the street ain't gonna do that. If they out and they're gonna be on there talking cold all the time. They're gonna speak in parables. Okay? It says, why? And so they asked me, he said, to you it has been given to know the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given. You see? And that has a lot to do with the melanin. That guy, and it has a lot to do with that woolly hair that you deny. You see? Anytime you can get a chance, you understand, you want to go in there and fry. You understand? And destroy your goddamn your divine connection to the universe. Everything on you. You understand what I'm saying? Has a purpose, a divinity. You see? Wouldn't be attached to you if it did not have a plausible, you understand, connection or a source that, where, you would need it at one time or another, or all the time or another. You understand what them? There's no time where it's not needed. You see? And so we have to understand that. Now, and so we have to understand, it says to separate. That's key. You see? Separate. And that's just something that you niggas don't want to do. You don't want to separate. You don't want to separate. See, you know what? A lot of times, people ask for success. And people ask for liberation. And people ask for freedom. But the key indicator there was to separate, from the goat. Now, what is the goat? We got to get to the key. What is the goat? To separate the sheep from the goat. Now, let me get in here. I'll put that there so you can see, that when you're talking about zoo type, there is, just like there is a commonality, between the symbol and the source in which it represents. So it was key that when you talk about the goat, you talk about the straight hair, and when you talk about the sheep, you talk about the woolly hair. You see? And so when you talk about, when you're going in here, we're just peeling this back. We take out of it what we need and we throw the rest of that garbage away. You see? Daniel 7:9, what it say? As I looked, thrones were placed and the ancients of days took his seat. His clothing was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. Okay? And you got to see the indicator there was pure. We ain't talking about no mix. We ain't talking about no diluted. We ain't talking about no juicy curl. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't talking about none of that. No. We talking about pure wool. Nah, you can see from Revelations, the information was too powerful. You see? It said, now, if you watch Daniel 7:9, you look at it, you have to and break it down, and you can see when you get to Revelation, they begin to try to change the information. Because when it get down, a lot of people bring up Revelations 1:14, but they don't show the obvious, adages and subtractions. In that one, it said the hair of his head were white, like white wool, like snow. His eyes were a flame of fire. You see, in Daniel, they was dealing with the texture of the hair. You see? Said his hair was like the pure. And then when it referred to white, it said his clothing was white as snow. It didn't say nothing about his hair. See, so they knew right there. And then it said pure. That means he was unmixed. You see? Unmixed. That's key. But then when they get done there, they talk, nah, they diverted, they lied and shit. They made the emphasis, not the texture, but the color. And the hairs of his head were white. They didn't say nothing about, it said his clothing was white as snow. It didn't say nothing about his hair was white like wool, like snow. See, that right there show you, they lying. That's garbage. That's garbage right there. That's garbage. You can take that shit right there and throw it in the garbage. See, right there, now that's why a lot of time these people don't want to deal, because they know what that means. Now today they'll go to, if you go to the newer versions, they didn't took it out of Daniel. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you have to, you always keep the older ones, whether you in it or not. You understand? You keep that shit on the shelf. You get you some of them older ones, because it's going to come a time where you're going to have to pull that motherfucker out and verify beyond any reasonable doubt of what you're trying to say. Now, when we talk about the goat, we get on up here on this goat. You're talking about, when you're talking about pain, you see, you're talking about pain, and pain is a deviant. You understand what I'm saying? He's a super predator. You got to understand this shit. So that when you talk about pain, you're talking about the primordial goat. Let me get him in here. You see, you talking about the primordial goat, God. All goat, whether it's a Baphomet, that's modern shit right there. Lucifer, you understand what I'm saying? Pan is far more ancient than Lucifer. You see, or Satan. And all of them are a variation from him, the one that we call Pan. And see, the thing is, when you talk about Pan, that's where you get the root of pagan. You see, the pagans were the followers of Pan. You see, and even when you're talking about, when you talk about Chronos and you talk about Saturn, you're talking about Pan is one of the profound attributes of Saturn and Chronos. They're very close. They're so close. They're one and the same. They're only variations of the one. You see, they're only variations of the one. You're dealing with Chronos, or Saturn, you're dealing with the element of power and rule. And then when you're dealing with that aspect of Pan, you're dealing with that bestial nature. You're dealing with a bestial nature. And I want you to understand that. When you're dealing with Pan, you're dealing with the deviance of all deviants. You see, whether it be strong arming, I dealt with that. And I have to say it that way. Many, I've seen where Jupiter, who was the king of the gods, who is the Roman Zeus, and Zeus also, you understand, a foul ass god. Foul would transform himself into satyrs, which is goats. The ones like Pan and shit. The followers of Pan. He would strong arm women. You feel me? You see, so this show his nature. And I looked it up, and just so you would know, and when I looked up, when I was looking up Pan, they used the term carnal. 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 You see, and I bring it up all the time. And when you bring it up, it says related physical, especially sexual, and then it deals with lustful. It deals with what's the other word? Let me get them raw. Lewd, and you know what I'm saying? And when I look it up and see, you got to understand that carnal, you understand Carnal, which is the root of carnival. You see what I'm saying? Yes, it does with the physical, but you got to understand what type is lewd, and lewd means vulgar, crude. You see, smutty, dirty, filthy, obscene. You see, this is what he is. You see, and so you got to understand what you're dealing with. So when you start talking about you're dealing with strong arming, you're dealing with homosexuality, you're dealing with pedophilia, you see, you're dealing with bestiality. All of that is pain. You can see him in all those manifestations. He'll be strong, trying to strong arm, and he the nymphs, and the nymphs, he loved to strong arm the nymphs. They would run from him because he was so ugly. You see what I'm saying? And so his only option many times was just to, strong arm. And so you'll see all type of carvings where he's strong arming them. They running from him, and he chasing. You see what I'm saying? And then you see him with boys and shit. Then you see him with the goat, the pure goat. He's half goat and half man, but they just show you that the manifest. He's a man, but his nature is still that of the goat. Okay, so that's why you see in all the society and shit. That's what you're seeing, and they couldn't wait. You understand what I'm saying? Because really, the only option that black people, African, ever had was to separate. Because we knew their nature and shit. Now, under the brutal onslaught of oppression and shit, but still, we still got to move forward. We have to still understand what we dealing with. And a lot of motherfuckers want to, they want to put the blindfold on and act like they don't know and act like they don't see, even though every goddamn day you can see the kidnapping of children, the kidnapping of women, every goddamn day. Niggas don't want to say shit about it because they in love with the master. They don't want to step to the master. They don't want to, and because the master is in control and not he coming out the box with his true nature, and he's oppressing motherfuckers that step up again. Goddamn it, then we're gonna have to have it out. We just gonna have to have it out because we're not gonna go along with this. We just not gonna go along. We're not gonna go along. We're not gonna be quiet. We're not gonna be quiet. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna say what the fuck it is and say who it is. You understand what I'm saying? And expose their ass and all their nastiness and shit. We got to do that. We got to do that. And so the ancients already knew. They already knew. You see, they already knew what was going on. And so when you talk about that, you talk about the goat, you're talking about the bestial nature. You understand the carnal nature, the gross. You see, nature, salacious. Another word was salacious. What is salacious? Having or conveying undue or inappropriate interest in sexual matters. Salacious. Having or conveying undue or inappropriate interest in sexual matters. You see, and so that let you know right there. You see, strong arming and all type of shit, and that we just spoke about. And then you take your baby to the carnival. You understand? And you ain't done no research in this shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these goddamn, especially the Mardi Gras, where they got the masquerade, and then they come out there with the mask on so they can hide their nastiness. Hide the dirtiness. You see? And so, when you see them, they bring, now knowing this motherfucker is nasty and doing these things that he's doing, they bring this motherfucker and see he out there and and you can see him right there, and they parade this motherfucker right in front of everybody. You see? parading right there in front of the goat on the pan flute. And see, again, that's why I did it the other day. See, that's Peter Pan. You see? That's Peter Pan. That's Peter Pan. You know? The Lost Boys. You see how they get lost? Ain't nobody asked that question. How the fuck did they get lost? You see? How did they get lost? You know, the boys wandered away from their mamas and daddies, and this motherfucker carried them off to Never Never Land. You see? And then the fucking writer, and I told y'all about that yesterday, the writer was an old, the motherfucker was on his pan shit, you know, writing little boys and shit. They got this shit on YouTube. You can look it up. I did it when I did Michael Jackson and R. Kelly ass. You see, it don't make no goddamn difference what they say, nigga, what you identify with. You know what I'm saying? So you identify with Peter Pan. You can see him with the goat ears. You can see him with the only thing was that they didn't give him the goat legs and shit, this, that, but he plays the flute, the pan flute. You see what I'm saying? He plays that, okay? And so even the Pied Piper is an archetype of Pan. You know, he played the flute and lead the children away. And so not only is this motherfucker the god of just, you know, perversion, he's also the god of music. So he was always with Dionysus, who in Greece is called Bacchus, which is the god of wine. So you got wine, you got this deviant motherfucker and music. And so that was the element of the carnival, you see, along with the mask. You know, so, you know, you could be just as nasty and perverted as you want to be. Put your mask on so don't nobody see you. And that's why they call it the mask queer raid. You see, you know, you got to wake, I got to wake you up tonight. You see, got to wait. And so that's why we must separate from the goat. You understand what I'm saying? We must separate from the goat or sacrifice the goddamn goat, whichever one you choose to do. You got to understand that there's no way in a righteous state of mind can we conceive building the type of nation, righteous nation that in our hearts, and we think of our great ancestors from Egypt, from Nubia, from Mali, Ghana, Songhai, from Mona Mopata, from Zimbabwe, all the great civilizations of Africa, and we're going to build with some shit like this? Huh? We're going to build a righteous state inside the belly of the beast, of the goat. We're in the gut of the goat. You see? In the gut of the goat. Yeah, and all of his perversion. We got to talk about that. You know? And so when you see Pan, just like I show you right here, you see that he's strong arming the woman. Strong arming. Matter of fact, this motherfucker over here he's strong arming. They just strong arming. You see? Yeah, I guess she done knocked his ass down and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they just strong arming. Tearing off. You can see here, you know, he down there trying to strong arm now. You see? And she about to crack his ass over the head with a vase. She about to crack him over the motherfucking head with a vase. Then you got the little boys out there and shit, the erotes and out there and they giving them wine and shit and this, that, and the third. That's the Bacchanalian. You see? And see, that's what I was saying about the Bacchanalian. You know, the Bacchanalian was worse than goddamn Saturnalia. You see, Saturnalia was a state funded festivity. Bacchanalian was private. And they was doing shit at the Bacchanalian to make goddamn, make the Saturnalia look like goddamn, Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I'm saying? You know, they was doing shit at the Bacchanalian with just Bacchus and Pan, and shit and this, that, and the third. And so that's what you got today. And so when you see, that the fact that they got Capricorn and shit and, and all these goats and shit and, and even the Thanksgiving, when you see the cornucopia and all of that, you got to understand that cornu is horn. It's a goat horn. You see, it's a goat horn. So when you see Capri, You see Capri is goat. Then you Capricorn, cornu, that's goat horn. You see, that's what it is. It's the goat horn. That's what it represents. And so again, Saturn is a manifestation. And so in that particular month, December and January, both of them, man, them four gods that rule that house, them two houses, well, really one house, you know what I'm saying, starting from December to I believe it's the 22nd. That's the goat. Because the solstice is on the 21st. And so the rise of the goat is on the 22nd. You see what I'm saying? And so you got Pan, you got Saturn, you got Dionysus as a child, because that's the child of Saturnalia, Bacchus, the wine and shit. That's what you got. That's why New Year's, festivities, motherfuckers is, drinking and the most alcoholic intoxicants during the whole year is given out at that time. So that shows you the veneration of Bacchus, Dionysus. You see what I'm saying? And Janus, you understand, the god of doorways and shit. I see, but you got to ask yourself, what kind of doorways? You see? You got to be, you can't let them play you. You cannot let them play you. You see that on Janus, this motherfucker, even in his name, you hate to even call the motherfucking Janus. Like, goddamn, you can hear some shit. Like, what the fuck is in the back of this motherfucker's, Yeah, Sagittarius and, yeah, but you can hear in both of them. But when you break it down, see, the thing is, that goat is in all of them. You just got to, they put it in there in a way, but he's there. Pan is in just like Lupercalia, which is in February, Valentine. The Lupercalia, which is, Luper is the wolf, the she wolf. You see what I'm saying? But yet, Pan is highly venerated at the Lupercalia. You see what I'm saying? They sacrifice the goat, they cut him up, cut the strips, and dip it in blood, and and they go around and hit each other, and that supposed to symbolize fertility, this, that, and the third. So even in Lupercalia is Pan. You know what I'm saying? Even in Thanksgiving with the cornucopia is Pan. You see? So in all them holidays, it ain't no getting away. Even in the spring festival, you're dealing with Pan. You ain't getting away from the goat. That's why they say that. They use the term the goat, and I had to go because LL was said to have, coined that. And I had to think about it. I say, hey, I got to go look into that nigga. You understand? The greatest of all time, but they call Pan the great god, because he ended up saving Zeus. Zeus was fighting Typhon, and Typhon put it on Zeus. Took his tendons out of his body. Where he couldn't even move and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so Pan helped to find Zeus' tendons, and put him and get him together and shit. And he was able to overcome Typhon. You see, he was able to overcome Typhon. And when he defeated Typhon, he blessed Pan and made him immortal. He made him immortal and basically made him one with the great hierarchy. You see what I'm saying? Made him one with the great hierarchy. He's able to go back and forth from Mount Olympus. He can teleport. Now, when you look at, when I say that he could teleport, right? What's that motherfucking X-Man? Nightcrawler. That's Pan. You see him with the tail and shit? You understand? And the ability to teleport come from out of the story of Pan being able to teleport back and forth from Mount Olympus. Right? All right. Now we need to know this shit. Okay? And so, just to, we'll be touching in and, in and out this science. I'm going to come in and deal with the Freemasons, because they also deal with the go. They also deal with the go. And so, family, we'll be in and out, and I'll start, putting it all together. That's right, shapeshift. That's right, was a shapeshifter. All of them, especially Odin. He was a shapeshifter. Zeus was a shapeshifter, but they was damn near one and the same deity. You feel what I'm saying? And so Odin would shapeshift, and he'll turn into anything, and and he'll be in the public, and you understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't know who he is. And so we got to understand we in the age of pandemonium. We in the age of panarchy. Not anarchy, but panarchy. You understand? And everything is upside down and sadistic and salacious and lewd. Wake up, family. We got to set our people free once and for all. I know motherfuckers out here be talking. They don't talk about the type of nationalism of our ancestors and our great get free. We cannot, be lulled to sleep in this day and age by a bunch of fake ass niggas on YouTube. We cannot be lulled to sleep. We got to reconnect to the master teachers. Go back, Sankofa, go back and fetch. Reconnect with the masters. And you understand, as we move into this fake new year, it ain't no new year. Never a new year in the middle of winter. And not a new day at the fucking 12 midnight. It's only a new day when the sun rises. You see what I'm saying? We are solar-centered people. We don't move like no damn night crawlers and shit. Even though we understand the night, but they move in the night because they can't move in the day. We are the night and the day. We the melanin and the solar. We all of that. But the reason why they have to move at night because they ain't got no goddamn melanin. You understand what I'm saying? That's why. And so we got to understand that's why they venerate everything but the solar. Okay? And so, family, I want to thank you for being here today. Understand, watch. And I'm going to tell you this. Just like I was watching this documentary, because a lot of these people like to have sacrifices during these times now. Y'all watch yourself out here. Watch yourself. Watch your children. Watch them. Keep them off these streets. You see, because there's a lot of malevolent beings that's moving during this time. All right, family, this is the General Sarah Sunseti. I'm going to come right black. I'm going to deal with the Freemasonry. I'm going to hit that button and I'm going to come right black. And we're going to deal with these Freemasons and we're going to expose their ass for what they doing. And and we're going to keep it moving until we get to the end of the motherfucking, you understand, the finish line. And I'm going to keep banging on their ass until that time. This is the General saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power. See you right back.